Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the
Literalist reactions.
I hope you get a kick out of watching it.
I just have cheap HP monitors, so they don't accurately reproduce color, it seems.
Well, is that why you're blue? Because it makes you feel blue deep down inside?
It makes me feel angry that I can buy a 70-inch TV for less money than a decent computer monitor.
That actually is kind of weird when you think about it. You should just buy a 70-inch TV and put it in your office. Wouldn't that be a dope computer monitor?
That would work perfectly, only if computers spoke to TVs the same way they do to computer monitors, but they don't.
Of course not. Why would they?
So you can HDMI all you want. It's just not going to understand the signal coming out of that computer quite the way it's supposed to.
Well, I'd like to understand some more sweet lyrics. I've also realized that
You sucker.
I've been recording this whole
the
time.
recording again.
I've also realized I have a window. So I'm in a new location. If you haven't noticed.
Yeah, you are. Brand new location.
My dog sits right behind me on the bed now and watches me. He's sitting.
He's ducked down. He's ducked down.
He's got his sloth toy. He's sleeping. But that also means I have a window that's like super bright right here. And I find it weird because as I go down, you can see where my sound shade is. See?
Yeah. I like that. It also shows that you've been in the sun wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, I live like a less than a block from the beach now, so it happens. I will for the next 7-ish weeks. All right, what do we got today?
Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, beautiful thing. What do we have today, Dave? I'll tell you what we have today. I didn't have any trivia planned, so we're going to skip right past that. And let's all say hello, fellow humans. Hello.
Hi.
And we're going to get to a band that you love and a song you've probably never heard.
Excellent.
Time for some Queen.
Oh, I do love Queen. You are spot on there.
Yes, but as we've discussed and as we want to remind our fellow humans, you, while love Queen, the Queen you love is found on the 10 or so tracks of their greatest hits record.
That's the entirety of my Queen knowledge. It's basically the hits of Queen.
So this song is called The Prophet's Song, and it has accumulated more votes than any other Queen song, which I find strange because I've only even heard this song maybe twice in my life.
I guarantee I've heard it 0 times, and it's about to be 1.
Bam. So I don't know whether it's because they have come to understand that you have a deep ability to suss lyrics, that they've chosen this song. They feel lyrically it's one you should definitely hear. I don't know, because I certainly can't tell you a single lyric in the song, really. So Dave, it's a re-exposure for me, but it is your first time. Let's go.
All right, here we go.
The Prophet's Song.
The Prophets. Oh, prophets as in like, I know the future, not I've made money.
Right.
For some reason, I went the other direction with it. I'm going to turn my headphones up.
I think you should turn the volume up on the mix.
See, this sounds more like classic Queen.
Yeah.
All right, so far, this sounds like a song about the flood, from the like biblical flood. Noah builds an ark. Humans are being led in two by two, like a zoo. Um, Take heed because the world's about to be destroyed due to your own actions. And in that story, like we basically have their version of God coming and saying, "Hey, I'm angry at you because you didn't pay attention to me enough, and so because you're so bad, I'm gonna wipe out the world with a flood." And so that's was the reference to it being by your own actions. That's pretty much what I'm getting out of the song. I'm kind of disappointed by it a little bit, which I know is a weird thing to say. I so when it first started, until we started getting the flood references and like it's starting to definitely nod toward this being the Bible flood narrative, I was kind of hoping there were a few nods to it possibly being um, a story of nuclear fallout. There were even some references to a flash of white, and
Ah,
things like that. That I was like, oh, ooh, are we going like humanity's going to wipe itself out with nukes? Because that's an interesting take. And then it sort of went into the old myth of the flood. So like we're a very different. It went to a different path than I was expecting it to go. So far, still like I don't know, 5 minutes of song left. Could change.
okay. So lyrically, you're disappointed, and it's all over your face. I have to say.
I don't I don't hide things well. Like you just get what you get, John.
I'm like, well, musically, this does sound like Queen.
hmm
I have heard this song before, but I have to say, I mean, it doesn't excite me like some other Queen songs do. I'll say that for sure.
See, and there I'll actually slightly disagree. I am in the sweet spot of happy classic Queen here because this
Okay,
sounds like the Queen that I grew to love through listening to exclusively Queen's Greatest Hits album.
right.
So like this is more my comfort Queen zone, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, from that perspective, I'm back to Freddie Mercury. I'm back to lots of different harmonies. You've
Yes.
got lots of places where you've got the music driving, and then you've got a nice calm guitar, and then you've got like almost a chorus, if you will, a Freddie Mercury barbershop quartet.
Right, right. And it
uh,
does have prog elements too. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on it because I have only heard it a few times. I guess
mm,
that's possible. So let's continue, I guess, huh?
sure. I'm very curious. I kind of hope it goes to a different place, but we'll see.
And now I know, 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 and now I know,
There's your Freddie
now
Mercury
I
barbershop
know,
quartet again.
hmm
now I know, 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 now I know. Shaking to a break, and we're shaking to a break. Circle around, 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 around,
Uplifting.
It's a happy song.
now I know, 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 now Listen to the man. Listen to the man.
Oh. Hmm.
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 That. I mean, it's Queen at the end of the day.
Sure is.
I generally do love Queen. That boy, I do like a Freddie Mercury barbershop quartet, but that was a little long.
I think that's my attitude toward it. Exactly the same.
I think that entire and normally I'm all for epically long pieces, but in this case, I think that song would have been better were it 5 minutes long, 4.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Maybe not 8.5.
What was cool is the cool thing, I guess, from a performance perspective, was when he was first doing that echo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's a delay. It's a machine that does a delay. So I think up until he layered it at the second portion of that, he was like singing those things once into a delay, and then he was singing over top of the first delay. And you can set a delay to, whatever parameters you want to keep it in time with the music, or the phrasing that you're using, or there's a whole lot of settings. So he set it to repeat 4 times, which is a measure.
Mm-hmm.
And it would fade a little bit each time. Okay, so what he did there is he was singing kind of live, and all those parts he was singing live, like I say, until they started duplicating it on the second part, which was, I think, difficult, a challenge, and shows the talent and fun. But here these days, I look back at it as, well, that's a cheap studio trick.
Yeah, and maybe that's the issue, is that we've gotten so used to technology being able to make these things simple, that we no longer maybe even like fully appreciate how tough some of these things are.
Yeah.
And especially back at that time. Musically, still some fun Queen.
Yes.
I think slightly too long. I think just some of it could have been condensed a little bit, which is rare for me to say. I think this might be the first time I've really ever said that.
Right.
But other than that, okay, back to the lyrics. So I do still think that this was generally referencing the flood from the Bible. That being said, I think that it could very easily be taken as an allegory toward maybe all the madmen screaming that um, we're destroying the planet and we're doing bad things. Maybe we should listen to them every now and then because some of them might be right.
Right, right.
And I,
And the flood story, you know Freddie Mercury's real name, and you know his background, right?
Mm.
Oh, keep talking, and I'll get the accurate information.
Excellent. I mean, it's clear that he did know the story, even references to the earth splitting. In that story, there's lots of references to the fountains of the deep breaking open to cause this flood. And there's no scientific evidence for a worldwide flood having happened like that. There is tons of scientific evidence, however, for the local area where these stories were written, and mostly verbally said because they were oral traditions for many many years. There's a ton of evidence that that local area did experience a very large flood, which actually makes a ton of sense because let's say you lived in the Middle East and Northern Africa, and the Nile and that area flooded completely, then of course you would have lots of cultures with stories of the world flooding because
Right.
their world flooded. They couldn't go on Twitter and see that the rest of the planet's fine. Their world flooded.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of evidence for local flood for sure. There's a lot of cultures, in fact, that have their own flood narratives. One of my favorites is actually I think it's India, but they have the story. It's the same general stories for all the cultures of the flood happened, the world flooded, but they survived on the back of a turtle, which is my personal favorite. I love I love they jumped on a back of a giant turtle and just swam
Yeah.
off. But yeah, go actually do some research if you've never read into it. It's very interesting to see all the different flood narratives out there.
Yeah, I have read some of the flood narratives as part of my apologetics learnings.
Hmm.
And also I tend to believe it was more global than thing you say there's no evidence, but I don't know. I think some of the tectonic plate movement and if you look at the countries or the continents that are separated that look like maybe they were closer together, to me in some way or shape or form,
Pangea.
yeah, that possibly the flood was more global than just that region, but that's my opinion. But either way, Freddie Mercury wasn't, to my knowledge, a Christian. His real name is Farrokh Bulsara.
That's an amazing name. That's
Yeah,
a better name.
Farrokh. I may have butchered the pronunciation. He was born in Zanzibar to Parsi Indian parents.
That's amazing. Zanzibar?
Yeah,
He's got fun names from his name all the way to his location of birth.
yeah, where he was born. Yeah, Zanzibar. Maybe Rush should do a song about Zanzibar. Oh,
Oh,
maybe they probably did. I don't know.
they did Xanadu.
Xanadu, right? So anyway, yeah, they may have been using the Bible story or the general accounts of the flood as sort of an
Mhm.
allegory. And you're right; they could have been talking about anything from at the time. Nukes was a big scare. Of course, now
That's why I went
science,
there. Yeah.
yeah, science has turned around. They're like, when it comes down to it, nuclear power is actually the safest we've got. Um,
Well, to be fair, we're moving toward fusion, not fission. Fusion is really where it's at.
yeah,
Fission, that's what
right.
we got so far, and boy, does it create a lot of toxic waste. Is the real issue there. It
It
is
does
it
create
is
waste,
safer and
but I
better.
just heard recently that if you compare all the types of power, including um,
What's
solar and wind turbine power, the one type of power that has resulted in the fewest deaths directly related to it is nuclear.
Yeah, yeah, that is an accurate statement. I have also read that.
Yeah,
I am very much not against nuclear power. I think it's like even people that bring up the 7 Mile Island incident, 3 Mile
three
Island
three
incident.
mile, 3 mile. Yeah,
I had the incorrect number of miles for that incident.
it's a
Uh,
smaller island than you thought.
yeah, sorry. The 5 kilometer incident.
Yeah,
So in that incident, everything functioned. Like that it wasn't a catastrophe. And I think people don't take that in a lot. They'll talk about, oh, see what happened. It was a meltdown. Yes. And then every single safety feature went into place. Nothing blew up. It wasn't a
Right.
big deal. Like, yeah, it
Yeah, there was no
sucked, but
radiation released
no.
outside of the facility, right?
And so like when you look at that as a template, um, taking safety first and foremost, we can do it. We have the technology, as people like to say.
Mhm.
So it's totally doable. But the if the experiments with fusion actually pan out, as there have been a number right now, the problem is it'll be 50 years before they get a working fusion facility up and running. But
Well, Switzerland, France, those guys are getting close to half their power from nukes.
hmm
So
hmm
yeah, it's being done safely is all I'm
yeah,
saying. But
yeah,
anyway, but in the
agreed.
'70s, no one thought that. No one,
Yeah.
everybody pictured every nuke facility as a ticking time bomb, and that's kind of
Yeah, and it's sad too because to do nuclear power, like it's like 12 to 15 years to build one. It's not like you could just go build one. Hey, we need power. Let's go build one.
yeah,
Cool. I'm gonna be as old as you by the time the sucker's up and running. So very old. Just so very old.
yeah, yep, yep. Anyway, we're way off the song now. We're back on what are we talking now? Environmental talk, environmental chat with
Well,
Dave and
I
John.
mean, I think to be honest, a lot of musicians talk about social issues. We talked about this
Sure.
before, and I think Queen is no different. And so I would like to think this song is an allegory for human beings maybe needing to take their own destructive power more seriously, whether it be nukes, whether it be just climate change, which we did definitely have a hand in causing, whether it be all sorts of stuff. But no matter how you look at it, like I think at its core, this song is definitely referencing the flood from the Judeo-Christian Bible, that particular telling of that narrative, and that's what it's about.
Okay. And the question is, does it make the playlist? Well, this has got to be a
Ooh,
fence post. This has got to be a fence post.
yeah, it is.
Maybe it would go on a specific different playlist. You're allowed to, it's your playlist. You can have my main playlist, and you can have your sub genre, or you have a rainy day playlist
Nope, it's still on there. It's still
still
on
on
there.
there.
Yeah,
All righty.
I'm a little fence-sitty about it just because of some of the long areas where you have that overlap, that Freddie Mercury barbershop quartet. But other than that, that I really do enjoy. I just think it went on too long. Um,
Yeah.
but overall, still a good song, still fun. Definitely listen again.
All right, there you go. All right, folks, we do have a bunch of other Queens on the request list, but if you'd like to add your votes to your favorite Queen songs, fellow humans, add those votes now. And please, if Dave has completely messed up what the meaning of this song is, feel free to comment below. I didn't research it, so this is open for you. Correct us, and we'll get into the correcting us on another video. Dave, we're going to have a talk soon.
I don't have a problem with that. We can talk on Zanzibar.